Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, former President Goodluck Jonathan visits his predecessor in office. He says there's no better alternative to a united Nigeria. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris says he's satisfied with joint security efforts aimed at dislodging militants from the southwest axis. 5 suspects are in police custody over last night's murder of 5 people on a farm in Saragi community in Kwara State. And aides of Donald Trump denied deep divisions within the campaign after a series of controversies trailing the Republican nominee.
And on business news tonight, the Naira strengthens against the dollar as the CBN targets 245 billion Naira through Treasury bills auction.
And in sports news, the Olympic flame arrives in Rio after its 20,000-kilometer tour around the world.
And from Abuja, I'm Linda Akibe. The Federal Executive Council approves the establishment of $2.58 billion seaport for the Badagry in Lagos State.
Paying a visit to the presidential villa in Abuja is not a privilege that many Nigerians enjoy. One group of Nigerians that seem to enjoy that privilege is former heads of state. If you doubt that, ask Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan. Dr. Jonathan was at the villa earlier today to meet with his successor in office, Muhammadu Buhari. At the end of the meeting, which lasted about 30 minutes, the former president spoke to journalists on his mission to the villa.
You see what's not equal. This was Good to see you, Your Excellency.
Of course, you asked why I came to see Mr. President today. One key thing is that having been a head of a government, a former president, to become a state property. That is the privilege you have. But every privilege has its own corresponding responsibilities. And when you become a state property, most of your international engagements that has to do with public addresses and some international assignments, normally you brief the sitting president. Even when I was there, the former president used to do that. So most cases I've been coming, but most cases we used to meet in the night. That's why you don't see me. So I come to brief Mr. President about some of my engagement, immediate past, and of course the future. Of course, you are aware that I've been leading the AU election monitoring team in Zambia. And normally you will properly brief the president. So I came to brief the president about some of these my external engagements. It's a tradition.
What role are you playing to solve this Niger Delta crisis, sir?
Of course, if you read the papers more than I do, you see that not just about me, but all the traditional rulers, elders, and opinion leaders of the ethnic nationalities who have been in touch to see that peace reigns in the country. Because, of course, those of you who are here followed my thought when I was here. The emphasis is that we need a united Nigeria. And I always emphasize that Nigeria is great. It's not because of oil. So many countries produce more oil than Nigeria, but nobody noticed them. We are great because of our size, the human resources we have, the diversity we have. So if we balkanize the country into small components, we will all be forgotten by the world. So that has been my focal position. And there is no without peace there can be without peace you can never have a development anywhere in the world. So we are all working collectively to see that these issues are resolved.
You also talk to us about the fight against corruption and your assessment of this.
About that because there are too many cases that are in court, so it will not be fair for me to make comments. I've always said that at the appropriate time, when most of these things are resolved, yes, we will talk.
It's okay.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan, in the wake of recent civil disturbances occasioned by suspected militants and oil thieves within Lagos and its boundary communities, Governor Akinwumi Ambode has requested for more police presence in the state. Governor Ambode made the appeal when he received the acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Ibrahim Idris, at his office in Alausa.
On arrival at the Lagos Command Headquarters, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, was welcomed by a guard of honor. From the police command headquarters, the police boss moved to the Lagos House, where he met with Governor Akinwumi Ambode. The IGP said his mission is to visit police formations and assess areas where major operations are being conducted. He commended the state's government for its support to security agencies in the state.
Because I observe on a daily basis, most of your security briefs I saw on the TV, it shows a lot of, there's a lot of security agencies in Lagos State here.
Security is a major concern for the state's government, especially with reports of activities of pipeline vandals and suspected militants.
On our part as the government, whatever it is that it takes to take the militants and the vandals off Lagos, we are going to do it. If it means shutting down some locations where they seem to be hibernating in terms of any commercial trade, we will do it and make sure that we guarantee the lives of our people, and then whatever it is that it needs to take in terms of financial support to the security agencies to sustain the success that we've had in the last few days.
Governor Ambode specifically requested for more police patrol of the waterways, assuring that his administration will play its part by ensuring the welfare of officers in the line of duty is taken care of.
The Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, supports the deregulation of the downstream sector and the liberalization of the forex market. According to the Emir, deregulation is a turning point for Nigeria, which will lead to the much-needed change and transformation if sustained. However, the Emir notes that reforms in the nation's economy will come with some form of inflation and recession.
I think that the building blocks have been put in place. What the government has done by fighting insecurity and fighting corruption provides an environment in which economic policy can thrive. And the recent steps that have been taken, deregulating the oil sector, liberalizing the foreign exchange market, meeting with economists and setting up a proper economic team, suggests that there is now attention focused on real economic issues to be dealt with by experts. And I, frankly, am much more optimistic today than I've been in many years as far as the economy is concerned. We're going to go through difficult times. We're always bound to go through difficult times when oil price crashes and with all the mismanagement of the past. But I think right now we're finally about to turn a corner. But we have to work hard, and we need to be realistic. Nobody should expect that overnight things are going to improve. Inflation will be with us for some time. A recession gets reversed gradually, but with the right fiscal stimulus and the right structural policies, we should hopefully get ourselves away from dependence on one sector, and that's critical.
Joining me now, the News at 10 is developmental economist Odelim Enwabara. He joins us from our studio in Abuja. Mr. Enwabara, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. You just heard the Emir of Kano, who was supporting the meeting that the federal government's economic team had with economic experts yesterday saying that this rubbing of minds will help to develop strategies for the days ahead. What do you make of that?
You see, my concern is, when you said they met with economists, you have to find out the type of economists they met with, because economics is like, has a lot of specializations, so many fields. Just like in medicine, you have so many areas of specialization. So if you have neoliberal economists, those who believe in market forces determine growth and things like that, if you are dealing with those people, it means that they are talking about people who believe in market, we take care of every problem. But in recession like this, the market should be put behind, because it means that you have to intervene by printing a lot of money so that you push in a lot of funds into the system, so that by so doing you increase economic activity, and by increasing economic activity you reduce the inflationary pressure. So that is my concern, because when you say they met with economists, you wonder who are these economists and what are their intentions. Because, one thing I want to make clear to Nigerians is that I'm not trying to insult anybody, is that, those who push interests of certain groups, and if the interests of those groups are what is important and what is more vocally discussed about, they will have the position to take the position, to take the center stage. And when they take the center stage, they may not be actually pursuing the overall interest of the economy, because the overall interest of the economy is to ensure that the grassroots economy is energized. The poor Nigerians, those who are unemployed, get jobs. The poor Nigerians are lifted from poverty so that we mainstream them into the economy.
Mr. Enwabara, I won't believe that the people that the president met, yet the federal government's economic team met yesterday, are a group of people. One of them, Bismarck Rawani, CEO of Financial Derivatives Company, are people who have the interests of this nation at heart. But the most important thing is the government is meeting with people who can help develop strategies to bring us out of this recession, out of this inflation. Do you feel that this should be a regular practice, government meeting with people who know to help bring us out of the economic problems that we're in?
No, government has to have an in-house team that will be meeting regularly to advise government. Bringing people that will come from time to time and disappear we are talking about the economy of this country. When America in 1933 ran into Great Depression, of course, the newly elected President Roosevelt, he did not pick economists to help him. He picked common sense people with patriotic zeal, and they work with him, because let's agree that solving economic problem or economic policy is 70% politics and 30% economics. So if you turn it the other way around, that is where we have the problem. Government must put together a group of people, not just economists, but people who have versatile knowledge of the economy, and put them together, and they will be working 24 hours so that we come to the point of finding novel, unconventional solutions to our problem. But if you do fire brigade approach, you don't get the result, because these are very busy people. They don't have the time to continuously think through. They have to run their businesses, and you bring them from time to time and expect them to do deep thought approaches in order to come out to bring novel solutions to our problem. I will tell you the truth. I'm not insulting anybody, as I said. Government must have a minimum of 20 men and women in-house, and they will be spending 24 hours thinking out solutions to our economic problem. You bring other people only to complement, but you cannot bring a group of 3 or 4 economists and say, let's rub minds and let's find the problem. The problem is huge.
Yeah.
It's fundamental, and it's structural, and it's political. So we must bring Nigerians who actually want to solve this problem, and who are ready, and we pay them the money and put them somewhere, as America did and China did and so many countries, and they will be there thinking out continuously solutions to our problem. But if
Mr. Nwabara, thank you.
For 30 minutes and do a photo show, and I will tell you, we're not getting to
let's leave it at that. Thank you so much, Mr. Nwabara, for joining us tonight on the News at 10 and sharing your thoughts with us. Developmental economist Odelim Nwabara from Abuja. In part 2, after the break, members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria demand the release of their leader, Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, from detention. Please join us again.